it is time for our math lesson. This is the first time that I'm doing it like this. I did it like this for our in-person students today up on the projector screen, and it worked really well for me because I don't know if you remember, but if you've ever had me for a teacher in person, I am like my brain is all over the place, and sometimes I get off on a little tangent and I forget what I meant to say. And so if I present it in a Google slide, it helps me just get to what I need to get to. So yesterday I taught, and for a while I've been teaching in person and online about base 10 blocks. And yesterday I did a lesson with my class in person and Mrs. Redden's class and Mrs. Risen's class, and the only strategy that we talked about was base 10 blocks. And at the end of that lesson, I said, boys and girls, how many strategies did we learn today? And in every class, they were saying 6, 5, 9. And I thought, where did I go wrong? Something has happened here. What are these 9 strategies that we think we've learned? So, if you take anything away from this lesson, it should be that you are learning 1 strategy today. How many? 1. Are you learning 2? Are you learning 5? You're learning 1. And that 1 strategy that we're talking about is base 10. All right, so here we go. The first thing that we're going to do, I'll let you go back to this. I will include the link in the schedule, but you will count by 5 to 100. Make sure you dance. This is a fun counting video, and I want you to dance and sing. It's fun. Get those wiggles out. All right, so you are going to do that in your own time. Okay, we've been talking about base 10 blocks, and we've been learning that there are cubes and sticks and flats, and they're all worth a different amount. So in front of you right now, you have cubes. How much is 1 cube worth? 1. A cube is worth 1 all the time. It was worth 1 yesterday. It's worth 10, or it's worth 1 today, and it will be worth 1 tomorrow. Always worth 1. It will never change. 1 cube will always equal 1. Okay. Here we go. What are these called? These are sticks, and 1 stick equals 10. Now, I don't want you to spend time counting these individual little cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because a stick equals 10, and it's always going to equal 10. If you see a stick, it equals 10 all the time. Not some of the time, all the time. A stick always equals 10. What does a stick equal? What does a stick equal? 10, 10, 10. All right. Then we have flats. What does a flat equal? When you put 10 sticks together, it equals 1 flat, and 1 flat equals 100. 1 flat equals 100. Some of the time? No, not some of the time. All of the time. 1 flat always equals 100. All right. So I don't know if you have ever heard a teacher talk about a toolbox, and maybe you have. Maybe you've heard a teacher talk about having a reading strategy toolbox. Maybe you've talked about me having a math strategy toolbox, and maybe you're sitting there thinking, what is Mrs. Bean talking about? A toolbox? What? Well, here's what I'm talking about. This Red and Black Craftsman toolbox is our addition strategy toolbox. And just like if you showed up to build a house and you opened your toolbox, imagine that you have showed up at a house, you have your toolbox out, you're getting ready to build a house. and you open that toolbox and you look inside, and all that's inside your toolbox is a hammer. Now, the hammer will definitely help you build a house, but could you build a whole house with just a hammer? No, you couldn't. You need saws and nails and levels and rulers. You need tons of tools to build a house. So doing math is kind of the same. You won't need to use base 10 blocks for all addition problems, but you might have an addition problem where base 10 blocks is really helpful to know how to do. So today, here's our toolbox. We are adding, notice the arrow, the strategy of using base 10 blocks to show how to solve an addition problem. Now, by the end of second grade, the goal is to have many strategies in this toolbox. And you know what? You might already have some strategies. I hope you already have some strategies that you've learned in kindergarten and first grade. Now, remember, a strategy is just a fancy way to say how you solved the problem, right? It doesn't mean anything other than that. The strategy is just, how did you solve the problem? So today, we are going to solve the problems by using base 10 blocks. All right, here we go. So base 10 blocks help us represent or show what a number looks like. Base 10 blocks are a tool that we can use when we are adding. So I like to think of base 10 blocks as I can write the number 65 with the number 6 and the number 5. And I can put that number 6 and 5 on a desk. But it just looks like a 6 and a 5 or 65. It looks different if I were to tell you, I'm going to bring you 65 cookies, right? You would get a lot more excited about 65 cookies than just the number 65 sitting on your desk. So base 10 blocks are kind of like the cookies. They show us what a number looks like. So here we have 3 sticks. I want you to think in your head, what do these 3 sticks equal? Remember, 1 stick equals 10. So if I have 3 sticks, how much do I have? Or what is the value? On the count of 3, I want you to whisper it to me. 30. Did you say 30? Good. All right, we're going to do another one. All right, for this one, I noticed that I have some groups of 100, I have some groups of 10, and I have some ones. So how much does this equal all together? You're going to count your hundreds, count your tens, and count your ones. I'm going to exit out of display mode so I can write. Okay. Make my text a little bit bigger so that we can elaborate. Maybe. All right, so how many hundreds do I have? 1, 2. So I'm going to write 2. How many groups of 10 do I have? 1, 2, 3. I have 3 groups of 10. So I'm going to write the number 3 in my tens place. Then how many ones do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to write the number 4 in my ones place. So this number, these base 10 blocks, 234, gets shown like this. All right, next. Now we're going to use that same strategy, but we're going to use it to add. So here we have 234 plus 10. So I'm going to do some arrows to help show what we're doing. So this 2 Make it skinny. I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to make it a color red. All right, so this 2 means 200 because this 2 is in the hundreds place. Let's get an arrow out again. This 3 is in the tens place. So it really means 30. And that's what is shown with these sticks. I have 2 hundreds. I have 3 tens, 30. And then I have 4 ones or 4 cubes. Does that look good? Here, I'm going to move this over a bit and twist it. There we go. All right, now I have this number 10. So I have 1 1 in the tens place and nothing in the ones place. There's no cube, so that's what that 0 is. I'm still going to do an arrow. So this 1, I'm going to have to flip this little guy around. There. That 1 means 1 group of 10. And there it is. All right, so now let's think. What does this equal? I've showed 234. I have my plus sign. And then 10 equals. Now I notice that I have 1 in the tens place here. So that could tell you to only increase your tens place by 1. So 234. My 3 is in the tens place here. Oops, that's not what I want to do. My 3, I'm just going to leave it though. My 3 is in the tens place and my 1 is in the tens place. So if I add 110 to 234, so I have 110, this number goes up by 1. So what is 1 more than 3? 1 more than 3. It's 4. So the answer is 244. All right, we're going to do another one. If I can. Great. So here we go. I have 50 plus 20. 5 groups of 10 plus 2 groups of 10 equals how many groups of 10? It equals 70. Okay, so what you're going to do for me in a minute, remember we talked about one addition strategy. What was that strategy? Here it is. How we can use base 10 blocks to solve addition problems. Now in your math notebook, here we are, you are going to get out your math notebook. So if you don't have your math notebook, grab it. Grab your math notebook. All right. On the top corner of your math notebook, do you have a pencil and a piece of paper? Pencil, notebook. Let's open up to the next clean page. You're going to write the date. 9. What's going on? Okay. 9-17-20. Okay, that's at the top of your paper. So we're pretending like this is in a notebook, your math journal, your math notebook that you should have gotten ready yesterday. Okay, I'm going to skip some lines. In your journal, you are going to be solving using base 10 blocks 32 plus 17 equals. Okay, I want you to put the plus sign down a little bit. I want you to put an equal sign. Then I'm going to draw a line. Okay. So I know that this looks a little crazy, but here's what you're going to do. You're going to use base 10 blocks to build the number 32. You are going to put your answer to that right over. Bear with me. I know that this is a long explanation, but I really want you to know how I want it to look. So you're going to build the number 32 using base 10 blocks, and you're going to put it on this side of the plus sign. Now, you're going to have to use sticks to build 32, and you're going to have to use cubes. I don't want you to draw 32 cubes, okay? So think about how many sticks you're going to need, and then how many cubes. Then on this side of the plus sign, you're going to build the number 17. Okay? So the number 32 in base 10 blocks here, the number 17 in base 10 blocks here, and then you are going to write the answer and circle it after the equal sign. Okay, does that make sense? Then after you do this in your math notebook, you are going to take a picture of this and send it to me. All right, now I'm going to make my little bubble a little bit bigger. Then for independent practice, you are going to turn to page 57 in your math packet, and you're just going to do these problems. Okay, so it's number 1, A and B. So it says, complete the problems below. Circle all of the double facts. So remember, double facts are ones that you're adding the same number 2 times. So 1 plus 1 is a double fact. 2 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 4 plus 4. So anytime you see one of those, so the very first one I see says 2 plus 2, right? You're circling that in blue. Then it says find each sum. So the first thing that you're doing is circling the doubles facts in blue. Then it says circle all the doubles plus or minus 1 facts in red. Okay, so here is a double fact plus 1. So this would be 2 plus 2, right? But 3 is 1 more than 2. So that's a plus 1 double fact. And you're circling that in red. Okay? Now, it's up to you whether you do more, but that's all you have to do. Okay? A and B, or problem 1, page 57 in your math packet. All right. I will see you on Friday.